I mean, managing even 10 sites is a lot per quarter, but you're getting up to 50. So what kind of processes do you have in place to make sure things run smoothly? What is your role within those processes? And maybe we'll jump into a little bit of the hiring stuff.
Yeah, I've consciously tried to step back and let my leadership team tackle a lot more over the past 6 months. Ever since we started launching the 50 site portfolio, is I had to I couldn't be the one instigating everything and managing
Yeah.
everything. It would have been impossible even with the first 10 sites. I just couldn't do it. So my leadership team essentially kicked me out of a lot of decisions and said, "Hey, we'll tackle onboarding and vetting and the process." So Brian is a fantastic lead editor. He does the hiring, the sourcing and vetting, hiring, onboarding, training for new writers and a lot of some of our new editors. Uh, Anna is a fantastic lead editor that does primarily on the editorial side. So, uh, content briefs, training, a lot of one-on-one training and group training, quality assurance. We do a ton of quality assurance checks along the way with new writers, existing writers that are launching new sites, so they're usually unfamiliar with the niche or unfamiliar with the new writers that they have for the site. So I can't take credit for a lot of the stuff we do because my team is so phenomenal. Oh, and then Marco, he's our SEO manager. He's freaking awesome. He primarily helps vet. They all help vet and pick niches with us. They've done this before. They were with the 12 site portfolio that we acquired. They grew that thing into a beast with the previous owner. So their institutional knowledge of what it takes to run content teams, what it takes to produce quality content is the backbone of our organization. So they make it incredibly easy to get shit done and get content produced. And so, I give all the props to them when it comes to the content. But building the processes, I'm helpful in that regard. I don't want to force their hand. I've forced some things on them in the past that ended up not working, so I don't want to, instigate that. A lot of times they'll bring me a new tool that they want to test out. We're testing a new tool that I'm really excited about this week. And they build the processes with the editors in mind, with the writers that we have in mind, and with the niches that we select. So, each niche has different characteristics that we need to reshape things and strategize around. And they're really the instigators when it comes to building out processes and streamlining everything. So.
Yeah, so you've obviously got a great team. So then or what was your hiring process like then to find these people? Obviously, you can find great people like this, or you can potentially find duds.
Yep.
So you want to maybe run through how you did that?
For writers, it's a bit of a crapshoot because there's I mean, I just checked the other day. I think we have 500 writers that we have yet to vet. So it's sort
Wow.
of, you got to build the funnel first. We built this great funnel to bring in writer and editor interest, and then Brian essentially goes through the vetting, the submission of our form, all the data that we collect there. He's been doing this so long, he can weed out the bullshit very easily. And he doesn't even talk to those people. So if he does invite someone to submit test articles, so we do a lot of testing, at least 2 articles per writer. We're doing a lot of time. If they do get a test from us, it's likely we'll bring them on to, do the test and also do, actual production for us. We don't cut a writer until they've proven themselves they can't facilitate the consistency, and they can't communicate, or their content is shit. So,
Yeah.
what we're dealing with now is it's AI written. So, um, so yeah, that's a little bit of the background. Some of it's we have some ways to facilitate it and processes to improve, but Yeah, that's for writers. On the editor side, it's a lot different. We take a lot of more time to vet and develop relationships with editors. A
Yeah.
lot of them have been writers for us in the past and currently, because then they know our processes. They know exactly the type of content that we're looking for. They've established the relationship with us and other team members. So that's an easy, flip of the switch to bring them on as an editor. Early on, I developed the relationship with the newer editors. Some were personal connections, some were from Twitter, some were direct outreach because I've seen their work before, or some I've worked with in the past, that sort of thing. So the editor, I think, is where a lot of niche site operators can invest a lot more of their time and to develop the relationships and the trust they need to act as an actually act as an operator for the site. Actually, we trust our editors to be the operator of the site because we're publishing 1,500 articles every quarter. Our QA team is going through as much as one by one as possible, but they need to flag things. They need to work with the writers and establish good working relationships with them and cadences to get the job done in 3 months. So yeah, there's a ton of nuance, but there's so much value in bringing on and establishing a onboarding process, a search process, vetting process that can really weed out the weed from the chaff, especially since there's so much more talent than there is jobs right now. People are getting fired for left and right, and they're falling back to things like writing and development and photography and things like that. So we need to be cautious on who we develop relationships on the writer and editor side.
So how many of them are full time then? I'm assuming that most of your editors are full time.
We have 100% contractors. We don't work with any W-2 full-time employees. I'm not even a full-time employee technically. We haven't found a writer or an editor that wants to do this as a full-time job yet. There are some that we're working with to bring on potentially as full-time contractors to start, because we're growing. We're working on we're doing client work now because people are clamoring for this scaled content production capability that we have, and so we're thinking about flipping the switch to some full-time employees as we scale. But it's just so easy to work with contractors that writers that they want to publish, or they want to write 4 articles a week. They don't want to write a dozen or more and have that pressure. And then on the editor side, many of them have existing jobs or other part-time jobs that they're trying to balance, and we don't mind that. Our only stipulation is get 150 articles done in 3 months. We didn't make that target the first time around, and we probably won't this next time, but we still try to make that quarterly goal for each cohort, and we push them sometimes hard, sometimes we're lax about it, but we need to make this cadence so we get all 50 sites live within our timeline.